Hello, my dear friends, and welcome to my channel. My name is Barbara, and today we're going to be looking at the second house. So super excited to be getting into the second house. It's all to do with the sign of Taurus and with the planet Venus. So here we have another sign that's also ruling the planet Venus. Venus is ruled by both Taurus and both Libra. So it's all to do with the sensuality, the sensual things in life. Taurus loves to indulge. Obviously, you don't want to overindulge. That could be a shadow aspect of Taurus, but Taurus is all about the five senses. It's all about what you can hear, what you can see, what you can touch, what you can smell, all of these sorts of things. Taurus needs to see it to believe it. Okay, that's the energy with the second house and with the Tauran energy. It's all about seeing it to believe it. It's also all to do with money. Okay, so if you have a lot of second house energy in particular in your chart, or eighth, okay, because Taurus and Scorpio do bounce off each other, these are all the wealth placements. Okay, so you can be someone who's very wealthy. You are someone who's going to put in a plan, especially if you have the Tauran energy in your chart. You're going to put in a plan and you're going to put that plan into action as to how you can achieve something. And a lot of the time it has to do with the material things. Doesn't necessarily mean you're materialistic. We are in a material plane. Okay, this is why Taurus does rule the earth plane. I find, okay, some people might argue differently, but it does rule the earth plane because it's all to do with things that you can see. Okay, it's all to do with the physical reality, at least for now. Okay, and this is really what Taurus is about. They're all about, again, achieving luxurious things. Okay, so if you know someone who has a lot of Tauran energy in their chart, they're not going to like it just anything. Okay, they might not be someone who can buy, maybe like a $10 t-shirt. They want it to be a name brand. Okay, so it's all these things. It's all about indulging. Okay, it's the Venus energy. The Venusian energy is this. It's all about sensuality. It's very feminine as an energy, and it's all about, again, they're not showy. Okay, they're not so much like a Leo sign where they're going to show off, but you'll know a Taurus when you see one. Okay, they're going to like to have nice scars. They might want to have a big house. Whatever it is, that's the Taurus energy. Okay, it might not apply to everybody. It depends on your chart, but this is generally if you have either a lot of Taurus energy or a lot of second house energy in your chart. A lot of billionaires actually have these placements. Okay, second and eighth house. Okay, this axis, because of the fact that, again, the difference between Taurus and Scorpio as a sign, even though they are oppositions, they both like material things. It's the difference between them is the way they go about achieving these material things. So Taurus, like I mentioned, is going to actually put in a plan. Okay, they're going to say, this is my goal, this is what I want to do. It's going to be very linear in a sense. Okay, they're going to be very much like practical. Okay, this is the Tauran energy. They're very practical in terms of what they want and how they go about getting it. Okay, they're going to be like, okay, I want to have this job, this is where I'm going to see myself in 10 years, and this is the plan I'm going to set out to achieve that. Okay, whereas Scorpio is going to work with the undercurrent of energy. Okay, Scorpio is always behind the scenes, secretive in that sense. Okay, and they're going to be working with energy. They're going to be like, well, how can I achieve a lot of money and wealth? How can I acquire that, but without going about it in a linear way? Scorpio is going to go about it in a non-linear way. Okay, this is why a lot of the time Scorpio is going to be working with the undercurrents of energy. Scorpio might have, the tendency to fall into things that are like get rich quick schemes, all these sorts of things, whereas Taurus, on the other hand, isn't like that. Taurus is going to be very responsible, very practical. They're going to be able to set out a plan. I love the Tauran energy. It's very grounded. Okay, they operate very well on the earth plane. They are very much about not getting distracted. Okay, they're not going to get thrown off their path with other things. They don't consume other people's energy. Okay, but the thing is with the Taurus, again, depending where you have this place, it might take a while for you to come into their inner circle, because with Taurus, again, because they bounce off Scorpio, they're going to have very few people in their circle. They're not going to be as intense as Scorpio, where Scorpio is kind of like, I don't know if I can trust you, but it does take a while to actually get the Taurus energy to actually allow you in. Okay, they're also fixed signs, so they might be very stubborn, and they might be also people who are stuck in a form of a routine. So let's say they have friends for a long period of time, because they're comfortable around these people, it takes them a while to allow people into their inner circle. Okay, so this is a huge thing with Taurus. But another thing with Taurus to understand also is to not allow other people to walk over you. Let's say like you've had these friends for a long period of time and maybe you guys aren't vibrating anymore. Taurus might have a hard time stepping away from that because they like that comfort. Okay, Taurus is really about the comfortable things in life, and it's all about creating comfort for themselves. So whether that is through friends, okay, or through some form of group that creates this safety energy for you, right? It might be difficult for them to step away from that. It might be difficult for them to step out of their routine, especially like if they have a plan set out for themselves. They're only going to see that plan. Okay, this is really the Tauran energy. They're not so much like Capricorn as an earth sign, whereas Capricorn's like they can't see anything but the plan. Okay, there's a little bit more leeway, but they are a fixed sign. Okay, so they might come off stubborn and they're going to be very set in their ways. Okay, Taurus as an energy is going to be very set in their ways. They're probably not going to be ones to change their mind easily. Okay, they're not going to be the type that's going to change their mind easily in any way. Okay, whether that has to do again with a career plan or whether that has to do with their own belief system. Taurus is very set in their ways and they don't budge from that. Okay, another thing with Taurus energy, if you have Taurus or second house, is that you might hold grudges. Okay, so this is where they bounce off Scorpio in that sense, and because of the fact that they are a fixed sign, it might take them a long time to forgive people. Okay, so again, there's that whole energy of belief, right? The belief system that they're holding onto, and it's like if they believe that they're right, it's going to take a while for you to break through that. Okay, it really is with Taurus as a sign, especially. Scorpio is more intense, okay, again, but they do bounce off each other in this sense. And also Taurus is very loyal, and then they expect loyalty in return from their people, okay, whether it's their counterparts, whether it's their friend groups, whether it's their employees, whatever it is. Taurus is going to be expecting that same loyal energy in return. And this is where they bounce off Scorpio as well. They're not so much possessive like Scorpio, but they can be. Okay, so let's say you're dating someone who is Venus in Taurus. Okay, Venus in Taurus might be a little bit possessive. It might be more covert. Okay, it might be more hidden than Scorpio, or less intense. Okay, energetically, but you know, they like their things. They want to hold on to whatever they've created for themselves, and that also includes the partners that they're in, or partnerships that they're in rather. And you know, if you are dating someone or you're interested, or maybe you have Venus in Scorpio yourself, or sorry, Venus in Taurus yourself, you're going to be again very loyal. You're going to want to have someone that you build things with, okay, someone that also likes luxurious things like you do, very practical. There isn't any guessing games. Okay, this is a good thing with the Tauran energy. It's kind of like everything is out on the surface. There isn't as much of like a, okay, you know, does this person like me, does this person not like me? Okay, the Tauran energy isn't like that. It's all out on the surface with Taurus. They're not so much, I find Taurus as an energy, they're not so much in your face, okay, where they're going to be like, you know, I don't like you or I do like you. I find that to be more Capricorn energy, but Taurus as an energy is kind of like, you'll know where you are, you'll know where you stand with them. There isn't going to be a guessing game, and they don't really engage in BS in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so this is a huge thing with Taurus as an energy. They're not really going to engage in any form of BS, whether that again is in a relationship or a friendship or at work or whatever it is. You know, if they sense that there is some kind of trickery going on or some kind of inconsistency, they're just gonna quietly exit. Okay, that's the whole energy with Taurus. They're gonna quietly remove themselves from the situation. They don't cause drama, but they're also not the type that's going to be like, hey, you know, confrontational in your face and whatever, right? They're just going to quietly exit. They're going to be like, not for me, I'm going to leave, right? So this is really Taurus. They're really focused on their goals. It's interesting to see them as an earth sign because they're not as like, you know, particular and rigid in their plans like Virgo, for example, right? And they're not so much like in your face, right? Like Capricorn, I find. When I say in your face, I don't mean like Capricorn's going to try to fight with you or anything like that. I just mean that Capricorn is more like strong as an energy, whereas Taurus again is quietly in the background operating. Okay, they're kind of like, I'm minding my own business, I have my own goals, I have my own plans, and I'm not going to you know, allow anything to get in the way of that, but more quietly. I find Capricorn as an earth energy to be more forward, right? And that, or more like, you know, forward momentum energy. And the fire signs, especially the fire signs will make it known. The fire signs will make it known, but Taurus as an energy is going to be more quiet in the background, you know, minding their own business, don't want to get involved in drama. They don't want to get involved in any sort of BS. They're just kind of like going about their plan. And this is really the Tauran energy. The Tauran energy is, it's interesting because it aligns itself with Venus, and Venus is a feminine sign. So they're going to be softer in their approach to things. They're going to be, again, less rigid, okay? Because masculine energy is more rigid and feminine energy is more flowy, depending on where they're at, right? Because every sign has a shadow aspect and a light aspect, okay? So if they fall more into the shadow aspect of things, they might, again, you know, not see anything, okay, other than the plan that they've created for themselves. So they might be too stuck to the plan that they've created for themselves. Again, the fixed sign energy coming through here. But overall, as a sign, again, there's no BS, very calm energy, very calm, cool, and collected. It's interesting because that's even kind of like the Libra energy, right? But, you know, Libra tends to be more scattered energetically, I guess, because they're an air sign. They're probably more in their heads. But Taurus as an energy, very earthy, okay, very grounded. They know how to operate on the earth plane very well. They know how to acquire the things, and they do, okay? They really do acquire the things that they're, you know, looking to get. They're not going to want to be, again, in your face. They're not going to want to be, they might want to be seen. It depends where you have the Taurus energy in your chart, right? They might want to be seen, but they're not going to be so much like, let's say, like a Leo, where it's like, I'm here and this is my show, right? Or any of the fire signs, really. Taurus operates quietly in the background. They kind of bounce off Scorpio in that sense, where it's like they're quietly in the background, they're doing their thing, they're achieving their goals, and a lot of the time they're going to climb. Okay, they're going to get to whatever they intended to get to. Let's say that is to climb in their career. If they are working at a corporate job, maybe they will get those higher up positions, but again, it's quietly. It's not going to be at the expense of anyone. They're not going to be aggressive. Maybe that's the word I've been looking for. They're not aggressive. They're just kind of going about their way. This is really the Taurus energy, I find. Okay, Taurus energy is kind of doing its thing. It's going about its own way. It's minding its own business, not getting involved with anybody. They might bounce off Scorpio in the sense like they're going to be able to analyze people and be like, okay, well, you know, this person acts like this, so I might have to change my behavior to get to this role, right? Because for them, the end goal is to acquire items. Okay, so you'll know a Taurin's house. Okay, when you enter it, for example, it's going to be nice. It's Venusian, right? Very nice. They're going to have a lot of nice things, probably from a lot of like well-known brands or expensive brands. You know, it's not going to be things that look cheap. It's not going to be clothes that look cheap. It's not going to be anything that like you could have gotten somewhere, maybe you know, on sale or whatever. I don't know. They might like sales, but I mean, like, they're going to want things to be nice, right? They're going to like the name brands, and they're not going to, even when they give gifts, okay, this is a huge thing with Taurus as well, they're going to want to give gifts that are good quality items. Okay, good quality items, things that you can have for a long period of time. Things from, again, from name brands or brand name stores, all these sorts of things. That's really Taurin. Okay, they really want to acquire things and they want to enjoy. Okay, so Taurin energy is literally like eating chocolate covered strawberries and fondue, and that's really Taurin. Like, they really enjoy every experience that they have. Like, even if they're eating food, right, you don't want to fall into the shadow aspect where you're overindulging, but even when they're eating food, they want quality food. Okay, so they might be into like going to like those Michelin restaurants, the 5-star Michelin restaurants. You know, they're the type that it's like, again, they'd rather have a smaller portion and it be good quality, right, and have that experience, because with Taurus it's all about the experience in things. Okay, they want to indulge, and that's really a lot of the time people who do incarnate with a lot of this second house Taurin energy, they really did come to enjoy in all the physical aspects of life. Okay, so again, doesn't mean they're materialistic. They just operate well on the earth plane. They're able to acquire a lot of items. They're able to be really good at acquiring, again, money. Okay, because that is what the energy that operates on this earth plane, it is money. Okay, so they're able to acquire that. They're able to acquire nice things, and they're going to work for it. This is the thing with Taurus. They're going to work hard to get to where they get to, and then they're going to be able to indulge in that, but in like a positive way, not overindulge, but really indulge in absolutely everything. They, you know, and again, they might want to like have a nice dessert, or the way that it looks, like for it to be physically presented in an aesthetic type of way, because again, that's Venusian. Okay, so they do have that Venusian quality to them where they like things to look nice, aesthetically pleasing. In that sense, whether it's the food that they're eating, whether it is, let's say, like their partner takes them on a romantic date or a getaway, like this is like the Taurin energy. Like Taurus is gonna love that kind of stuff. Okay, they're gonna love like the physical presentation of something, whether it's their home, whether it's like, let's say they're working on an actual presentation for work, it's going to be presented nicely. Okay, they're going to be the type that, like, let's say at work, for whatever reason, I'm getting the visual, like they have like little packages packaged for everybody. They're gonna be packaged nicely. Okay, these sorts of things are gonna like love that touch, like adding like little gold sparkle or gold string or whatever it is, like anything that makes them feel like royalty type of energy, right? Like the just sensual is really the sign of Taurus. They're meant to enjoy all the 5 senses on this earth plane. Okay, so even let's say like they're putting together and absolutely anything, let's say maybe they run their own business and they're selling whatever it is. Okay, they might add a specific scent to their product, okay, because there's the 5 senses again. So they're really working through the 5 senses on this earth plane. They really came here to experience everything that the physical plane has to offer, and they're going to be very good at executing the plan, okay, to get all those things, acquire those things that they want, and then they're going to enjoy them. Okay, so they're not going to be the type that like acquires things and doesn't enjoy them. They're really going to enjoy the things that they receive, because again, they work hard for them and they know that they work hard for them. Okay, so this is really Taurus. It's interesting because they're not, it's interesting to see like compared to the other earth signs, like they're not too much of a workaholic. They're balanced in that sense. And I guess it's because again, Venus is also ruled by Libra, so they are able to balance out maybe working hard but also enjoying what they work for. Okay, because let's say Capricorn energy might not be like that, depending on your chart, depending on the other placements that you have in there. But this is, let's say you have 3 or more placements in the second house, or you have a stellium in Taurus or whatever it is, you're probably going to be leaning more towards this type of energy, just indulging, enjoying, very calm energy, no BS, you know, with them. You know, they can be hard-headed. They are not going to budge on their opinion in anything. They're not even going to engage, okay? And they like things that are comfortable. It's all about comfort, the comforts of life for them, and creating a comfort, okay? But in a positive sense. I find a lot of the time when people talk about getting too comfortable to be like a negative thing, but Taurus really thrives in that, and that's just their energy. And again, you know, don't be surprised, you know, I'll say Taurus has a partner to be with their partner for a longer period of time. You know, it's all about comfort and familiarity for them, and enjoying, okay? Enjoying and building and acquiring, okay? This is the main thing with the Tauran energy to understand, is they are here to acquire items and to enjoy them, okay? This is really the Taurus energy. So I'm going to wrap up the video there. I do hope you guys did enjoy this video on the Tauran energy. You guys can let me know in the comments below if you have any Taurus energy in your chart, and I hope you all have a beautiful rest of the day.